welcome to the deep dive.
Hmm.
Today, we're really digging into traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They're sort of woven into everything, aren't they? Holidays, daily stuff, we barely notice.
Absolutely. They really shape our lives.
So we've gathered a bunch of material for this deep dive: definitions, vocabulary examples, even grammar points.
In cultural examples, too, from all over.
Right. The mission is basically to pull out the key ideas, to give you a clearer picture of what traditions are and, importantly, why they matter.
Exactly. We're surrounded by them, big and small, but we don't often stop to really think about what they mean. This should give you a good lens for that.
Okay, so let's start right there. What is a tradition fundamentally? Our sources break it down a bit.
Yeah, at its core, it's something that happens again and again, right? Regularly over time.
And it can be, well, anything really.
Yeah.
Big cultural events, religious practices.
And family quirks, even national things.
So the definitions we found, one says it's a custom or belief passed down from one generation to another.
That passed down part feels really important. Inheritance.
Totally. And another one, simpler, just something we do regularly, often during holidays or special events, which points to the repetition.
And the timing, often linked to specific occasions.
Let's make that more concrete. Examples help, like fireworks for New Year's Eve. Pretty common globally.
Definitely. Or think about that special meal, the one that always shows up for a certain holiday in your family.
Oh, yeah. Food's a big one. Then there's wearing traditional clothes, giving gifts.
Religious rituals, too. They all fall under this big umbrella.
It really shows the range, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From huge national things to super personal family stuff.
It does. It's clear tradition is, well, it's a powerful force, multifaceted.
Now, if we want to talk about these things effectively, we need the right words. Our sources list some key vocabulary.
Right. Starting with tradition itself, that long-established custom or belief.
Then custom, defined as just a usual way of doing things. It makes you think maybe a custom is like the start of a tradition.
Could be. Yeah, if it sticks around and gets passed on, it might become a tradition. Then you have festival.
Right, which makes you think celebration. Special day, specific period.
And ceremony often feels a bit more formal, maybe religious.
Let's not forget ritual. That's a repeated act, often religious or cultural, usually with symbolic weight.
Definitely symbolic. And that phrase passed down, it keeps coming back. That link between generations is key.
Yeah, it's central.
And it's interesting how these terms connect. A festival might include ceremonies, rituals.
All part of a bigger tradition.
Exactly. Oh, and they even mention pronunciation, tradition.
And relatively little things, but they help.
They do. Clear communication.
Okay, so say you want to really unpack a specific tradition, understand it fully. How do you structure that discussion?
Well, the sources suggest some really helpful questions, kind of a framework.
Like a roadmap.
Yeah, exactly. First, what is it? Just the basic identification, like we celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. Simple.
Then, when is it celebrated? Gives it context and time.
Yeah.
Usually in September.
Crucial detail. Then, what do people actually do? The activities.
So for Mid-Autumn Festival, we light lanterns, eat mooncakes, hang out with family.
Right. And who takes part? Is it everyone? Just kids? The whole family, especially children?
And the big one, why is it important? The meaning behind it all.
The heart of it. So for Mid-Autumn, maybe it connects us to our roots, or it's about family togetherness.
That framework seems really useful, takes you through the key aspects.
It really does. Comprehensive.
We've got a good example, too, using Lunar New Year. It lays out the timing, all the activities.
Cleaning, new clothes, visiting family, the red envelopes.
Yeah, and then it hits the why family, joy, hope for the new year.
It shows how those questions really open up the tradition beyond just describing it. You get the feeling, the purpose.
Now, here's a really interesting bit. Traditions aren't static. They change, right?
Oh, definitely. They have to evolve. They're alive, in a way.
And our sources use grammar to show how we talk about that. Past simple, present simple, and used to.
Exactly. These tools let us pinpoint the shifts. Like, when I was young, we danced around a bonfire. That's past simple.
Compared
to now, many people buy decorations. Present simple, it shows the contrast.
Or using used to, like we used to have a big parade, suggests it doesn't happen anymore, or not in the same way.
Right. It flags up a change from the past.
These examples make it real, like making costumes versus buying them now.
Or maybe a big public event becoming less common. Lifestyles change.
Yeah. And the example of harvest festivals moving from the country to the city.
That perfectly shows how bigger societal shifts reshape traditions, where they happen, how they're done.
They really are dynamic, adapting all the time.
Definitely not frozen in time.
So let's zoom out again. The global perspective. Our sources give us a taste of traditions worldwide.
Yeah, a quick tour. It really highlights the diversity.
We see Japan's Hanami cherry blossom viewing. So beautiful.
And poetic, yeah, capturing that fleeting beauty. Then you jump to Brazil's carnival.
Total opposite vibe. Parades, samba, pure energy.
A real explosion of life. And India's Diwali, the Festival of Lights.
Symbolizing light over darkness. Very powerful.
Then the U.S. Thanksgiving dinner, turkey pie, gratitude.
A very specific kind of gathering. Egypt's Eid celebrations, prayer, food, gifts.
Community and faith are central there. And Mexico's Dia de los Muertos.
Day of the Dead. Such a unique way of remembering loved ones. Beautiful, actually.
Each one offers such a different window into a culture, its values, its history.
It really does. And they suggest a simple phrase for sharing your own. In my country, we celebrate year one.
A nice, easy starting point for sharing.
Okay, let's bring it closer to home now. Family traditions. Our sources stress how important these are.
Absolutely. They might not be famous, but they're often the ones that shape us most personally.
That sense of belonging, shared history within the family.
Exactly, like those little things. Every New Year's Eve, my family writes down goals.
And reads them out loud. Yeah, I can imagine that. Or we always cook grandma's recipe together for her birthday.
Even if it never turns out quite right, it's the doing it together.
That's the key. And there are phrases for this. It's a tradition in my family, too. We've done this since I was a child.
It brings us closer together. That last one really hits home. It's about connection.
Yeah. And the vocabulary linked to it, family gathering, home-cooked meal, bonding time.
It all points to that intimacy, that connection. These smaller traditions often hold the strongest memories.
Definitely. Okay, finally our deep dive touches on personal views. Not everyone feels the same way about traditions, right?
That's crucial. Within any group, you'll find different opinions. It's not monolithic.
Yeah, the sources give examples like, I think traditions are important because they bring people together. It's a very positive view.
But then someone else might say some traditions should be modernized to reflect today's society, acknowledging the need for change.
Or just pure enthusiasm. I love traditional festivals. They're colorful and full of life.
While another might be more reflective. Even though some seem old-fashioned, I believe they keep our culture alive. Acknowledging the tension, maybe.
It shows people actively think about this stuff. They don't just accept traditions blindly.
Exactly. They're discussed, debated, reinterpreted. It shows they're still relevant, still part of the conversation.
So, wrapping this up, we've gone from defining tradition, getting the language right,
Looking at how they change, seeing global examples, focusing on family.
and thinking about how we feel about them. It's clear they're way more than just habits. They link us to the past, shape our present.
And are tied up with our identity, our sense of belonging, really fundamental stuff.
Indeed. So, as a final thought for you, the listener,
Mm-hmm.
think about the traditions in your own life. Which parts feel most valuable to you?
And following on from that, are there any you see changing, maybe fading away even? It's fascinating to think about their staying power and what keeps them going or doesn't.